Hi there, welcome to this video of Microsoft Power Platform Certification Roadmap. If you're interested in learning about Power Platform, Microsoft 365, Microsoft Azure, then please subscribe to our channel. There are 5 certifications currently available under Microsoft Power Platform. Each of these certifications is targeted for a different audience. So here you can see in this screen that there are 3 levels of expertise that you can actually target based on your technical background. So the first one is your Microsoft Certified Power Platform Fundamentals. That includes one certification, that is PL 900. The next level is Microsoft Certified Associate certifications. Within Associate, you have got like 3 different certifications. Now each one of these is separate altogether. So based on this point that once again what is your technical background from which you are coming, you can target PL 100. If you clear PL 100, then you become Microsoft Certified Power Platform App Maker Associate. If you pass PL 200, you become Power Platform Functional Consultant Associate, and then you have got PL 400, which eventually makes you a Power Platform Developer Associate. Okay. Now please understand that each of these certifications are separate, and you can pursue one of these. There's no interdependency that you need to have PL 100 or PL 200 together. These are all like individual certification, and then combinedly in the third level of expertise you have got PL 600. PL 600, if you pass one of the associate exams, that is PL 100, PL 200 or PL 400, and in the next step you pass PL 600, then you become Microsoft Certified Power Platform Solution Architect Expert. Let's understand each of these certifications one by one. So to begin with, we have got PL 900 certification. Now for this certification, you can see here that there are no prerequisites. So anybody who wants to get started with Microsoft Power Platform can plan to take this certification, PL 900. So who should attend it? Anyone who has interest in learning Microsoft Power Platform and is looking to again gain further expertise on Microsoft Power Platform, they can actually get started with this certification. What are the key skills that Microsoft measures as part of the certification exam? You should be properly aware about a proper understanding of each of the product which is there under Microsoft Power Platform, ranging from Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, Power Virtual Agent, Microsoft Dataverse, and AI Builder. Now, as you understand, because there's a fundamental exam, so the expectation is never to know lot of details about each of this product. Instead, you should be at least clear in terms of features and functionalities, how exactly you can get started and do some very basic set of implementation that you intend to do in Power Platform. That is something that you should be able to do properly. Okay. Now, how can you prepare for this certification exam? For preparation, you can either take help of Microsoft Learn. Microsoft is providing self-paced courses as part of Microsoft Learn, which you can actually use as a reference point. Or you can attend self-paced or instructor-led course provided by FlexMind. Next certification is PL 100. So let's understand that what is required for you to pass this certification and what is the expectation that Microsoft has in terms of the skill measurement. Okay. So here exam PL 100 Microsoft Power Platform App Maker is basically for those candidates who are self-directed and solution focused. They understand that the data that they are working with, what are the issues that will be actually coming up when they are actually working with Power Platform, and how they can actually mitigate or fix these problems. Okay. Now when we talk about this particular certification, broadly it can be divided into four different areas, wherein like 10 to 15% of the questions will be on designing solution. Designing solution will include like creating a high level design, identify required Microsoft Power Platform component, and then designing data model, designing user interface, designing how the output is going to come, and also at the same time you need to have understanding of like how to design security, privacy and compliances. Okay, then the next segment is like creating solution. Within create solution, so most of the question in the certification exam, almost like 50 to 55% of the question will be focused on creating solution, wherein like you need to have a proper understanding of how you can create a Power Platform solution within a development environment, how you can create model driven apps, you can create canvas apps, and then you can configure data stores, create business logic, and then how you can actually create Power Automate flows. The next section is like analyzing data, wherein like you are supposed to have the percentage of questions will be around like 5 to 10% based on the question that you're getting. And here, as part of analyze data, you are supposed to like have understanding of Power BI reports, how you can actually go ahead, create Power BI report, implement certain like scenarios, how you can actually use templates within Power BI. And also at the same time, you should also have understanding of building AI builder models. Okay, so AI builder is one of the SaaS service that basically it's a low code AI solution that helps you to incorporate AI capabilities within your application. So you should have understanding of that. And then the fourth section within the certification is implementing and managing solutions, which consists of around like 15 to 20% of the question. So you should, as part of this, like you need to have proper understanding of how the security roles and field security basically works in Microsoft Dataverse, how you can basically like implement testing process on application and flows, and then how you can actually secure the solution, deploy the solution, and manage the versions of the solution. Okay, now in terms of prerequisite, you can see here that once again like the people who have proper understanding of how exactly an app should actually be created, how the automation can actually be done, they should be, I mean, at least aware of what are these like components. Okay, they are like, they can pursue this particular certification. And mainly like so how you can actually like prepare for the certification, you can make use of Microsoft documentation that Microsoft is providing as part of like Microsoft Learn, and otherwise like there are other standard Microsoft documentation that you can refer to. Or once again like we are providing dedicated like self-paced courses and instructor-led training courses that can be used to prepare yourself for this particular certification. Next certification is PL200. Now PL200 is a certification that is meant for functional consultants. Okay, so what are the key skills that is measured in as part of the certification exam? Now in this certification there are 6 different areas from where you are actually going to get the question. So first of all, like one of the most important part is Microsoft Dataverse. The composition of questions will be around like 25 to 30% that will come from Microsoft Dataverse. So you should have a proper understanding of Microsoft Dataverse as to like how you can manage an existing data model, how you can actually create and manage processes within Microsoft Dataverse, how you can configure security settings, how you can configure Dataverse. Okay, thereafter next area is creating apps by using Power Apps. That consists of again like around 20 to 25% of the question, where once again like you will be tested around like creating model driven apps, creating canvas app, thereafter how you can actually create portal apps. You should have proper understanding of configuring portal security, like including web roles and page access. All these you need to understand and learn properly. Then the next area is creating and managing Power Automate. That will consist of 15 to 20% of the question. Here you should have a deep understanding of how you can actually create flows, how you can actually manage business process flows within Power Automate, how you can build desktop flows. The next area is implementing Power Virtual Agent chatbots. That will consist of around, like, once again, 10 to 15% of the question. You need to learn properly that how you can actually create a chatbot, how you can actually make use of topics, how you can actually configure topics, how you can make use of, like, extract topics from a web page, how you can actually go ahead and call a Power Automate flow via an action within Power Virtual Agent chatbot. The next will be like how you can actually configure entities within Power Virtual Agent. Thereafter, next area is once again like integrating Power Apps with other apps and services. That consists of 15 to 20% of the question. So where you need to have a proper understanding of how you can integrate Power BI with Power Apps, how you can actually implement AI Builder, whatever like AI Builder model that you are creating, how you can actually incorporate it within like Power Automate or Power Apps, and then also like how you can integrate Power Apps with Microsoft 365. Next certification is PL400. Now PL400 certification is completely focused for like developers. So here you will see that the prerequisite for this particular exam is that the candidate should be a web development. He or she should have proper like web development experience, and they should be very much like aware about all these technologies, JavaScript, TypeScript. They should have proper understanding of Microsoft Azure, Microsoft 365, and RESTful web services. So any full-time developers who are already like who feel that no, okay, Power Platform is having only low-code based coding, can I go ahead and use my 100% development skills in terms of advanced programming? This is the certification that is mainly like focused for, hardcore developers. And here, as you can see that once again, the entire composition of the exam is distributed along like creating a technical design, which will be around 10 to 15% of the question. Thereafter, configuring Microsoft Dataverse, where you need to have a proper understanding of Dataverse in terms of security roles, field level security roles, how you can configure business units and teams within Microsoft Dataverse, how you implement tables and columns, and then how you can implement application lifecycle management within Dataverse. Thereafter, next area is your creating and configuring Power Apps. Here, you need to have a proper understanding of how do you create model-driven app, Canvas app, and then at the same time, how you can manage and troubleshoot apps. So you should be able to identify and resolve connectors and API errors, whatever is coming, optimize app performance, including like preloading data, thereafter like whatever query delegation that you are actually writing within like Canvas app, those things you should be able to like fix. Next area is like configuring business process automation. Here once again like you need to have proper understanding of Power Automate, how you can implement complex expressions in flow steps, how you can implement error handling, how you can troubleshoot flows by analyzing JSON responses from connectors, how you can actually implement processes. All these you need to have proper understanding of. Thereafter, the next section is extending the user experience, wherein like you can use client scripting to apply business logic. You need to have proper understanding of how you can use JavaScript or TypeScript code and incorporate client API object model, how you can actually register an event handler, how you can create client-side script that target the Dataverse web API. You also need to be very much aware of how you can actually make use of Power Apps component framework to basically like create a component that can be reused across the organization. Now within like your PCF or like Power Apps component framework, you should be hands-on with like how you can implement the component interfaces, how you can debug PCF component by using the local test harness, all this. Okay. And then in the next step, you should also be aware in terms of how you can create a command button function uh, when you're actually doing the implementation within your Power Platform. Then the last area is you're extending the platform, which is like where you should be hands-on with like how you can create a plugin, and then like how you can create custom connectors, while creating custom connector, how you can make use of create a definition for the API, how if required you can expose Azure function as a custom connector. You can create custom connectors for public APIs by using Postman or some other like tool. Next thing, like you should be hands-on with like Dataverse Web API. We should understand how to implement API limit retry policies. You should be aware of like how to perform authentication by using OAuth. You should be aware of like how to perform entity metadata operation with the Web API. And then finally, like developing integration. If you want to like integrate Power Platform with different like Azure technologies, like you are intending to use webhooks, you are planning to use Azure Service Bus, Azure Event Hub, all this you should be like aware of. So you can see here that in this certification, it's not just only about Power Platform, but instead you should also be aware about like the concept related, the related like technologies as to like how it's actually going to integrate with Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Azure. Okay. Next certification is PL600. PL600 certification is targeted for Solution Architect. Now, Solution Architect, as we understand, should have functional and technical knowledge of Microsoft Power Platform and the related technologies with which it needs to be integrated. So here you can see this, that obviously the candidates who are aspiring to become a solution architect, you must have a deep understanding of, first of all, like the architecture of Power Platform, what are the key technologies within Power Platform, and what are the boundary conditions, what are the scenarios or solutions that can actually be achieved, and at the same time what are the limitations that we have around a Power Platform we should be very much aware of. Okay. And then you should be even aware of like Microsoft 365, Microsoft Azure, so that whenever you are providing a solution to the customers, at that time it should be complete, and it should not have like you just cannot like design something in isolation, that because like you need to be very much aware about the integration point, that how well it can go ahead and integrate with Azure or other technologies. Okay, so here as part of this certification there are three main areas which you need to like prepare for. So Microsoft is going to like test your knowledge first of all on like performing solution, envisioning and requirement analysis, wherein like it comprises of how you initiate solution planning. So how you need to identify the current solution component, thereafter if there is any third-party component, and there are any component from independent software vendors, how you're actually going to include it within your solution. Thereafter, identifying organization information and metrics, what are the organization risk factor, and thereafter what are the business process automation opportunities. All of this you should be aware of. Then identifying existing solutions and systems, wherein like what are the key problem areas that the current system has, and how you can actually go ahead and fix those, or give a better solution to the business users by incorporating Microsoft Power Platform, and then capturing the requirement and performing gap analysis to, properly ensure that there are no areas which are left behind whenever you are actually providing a solution to the customer. Then the next area is about architecting a solution, wherein you are going to lead the design process. You are going to design solutions that will incorporate several areas. What is going to be the data migration strategy, what is going to be the visualization strategy, what is the application lifecycle management processes that will actually be used, what are the opportunities for component reuse, how you are actually going to design and validate user experience prototypes. You need to design an automation strategy that uses Power Automate. You will also have to have a deep understanding of designing the data model as to how you can actually go ahead and whether we should connect to external data directly, or we should import the data onto Microsoft Dataverse. Thereafter, designing data models to address complex set of requirement. Then in the next step, you will have to have a deep skill in terms of how to design integration, how to design the security model. You should have a very deep understanding of how the security roles actually works, what is how the business unit and team structure works within Power Platform. Thereafter, how you can actually identify Azure Active Directory groups and app registrations that will be required to support a solution. You also need to have a deep understanding of how data loss prevention policies can actually be incorporated within a solution, how the external users are going to access a solution. And you should also be aware of about the pricing model, that whenever you are providing a solution, then you need to make it very cost optimized. So that is something that you need to have a deep understanding of. The third area is implementing the solution, wherein you understand that you will have to validate the solution design so that the solution abides by the API limits, whatever Microsoft is giving under current licensing plan. Resolve automation and integration conflict, validate the security, and then finally you will have to support go live. What you will have to identify and resolve the potential and actual performance issues. Thereafter, you should have a proper understanding in terms of how you can troubleshoot data migration, resolve any identified issues with deployment plan, and then identify factors that can impact go live readiness and remediate all these issues. Okay, so these are the overall 5 certifications that currently Microsoft is giving under Power Platform.